Mike Tyson once said, "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." I wrote this quote down a couple of months ago in reference to something else, but it has stuck with me and has been lingering in the back of my head. I believe that as self-employed creatives that many of us have the flight syndrome. And what I mean by that is the first time that we have a bad year or a first time we have a client that is unhappy, we think about quitting. I want to share a little personal story with you. When I was 18, my father asked only one thing of me, and that was to let him know where I was at all times. I had a cell phone, he was paying for it, but for some reason I couldn't do it. I shouldn't say I couldn't do it, but that I would not do it. I was in college, I was working, I was on the wrestling team, I had everything going for me until all that came crashing down. On about the 20th time of disobeying my father, I came home and I found all my stuff sitting on the front porch. I had nowhere to go and no one to blame but myself. I packed up my stuff and I lived in my car for a little over 6 weeks. I earned enough money to get my first apartment and then I was on my way. I had to get creative with showering while I was living in my car, so I got a gym membership and I worked up in the morning so I could shower and brush my teeth before going to class. I remember thinking to myself after about 2 weeks of sleeping in my car that I would never have the feeling of hopelessness and being ashamed that I felt while sleeping in my car at a gas station. I told myself that this adversity that I felt would not kill me, but it taught me a very valuable lesson, and that lesson was that I was not going to dwell on my past, I was going to concentrate on my future. In doing this, it unshackled me from the bed I called my car seat and allowed me to focus on my future. My past was over. I was only living in the future from that day forward. I also decided that I was going to shape what my idea of success was and not chase what my friend's idea of success was. I had to realize I was already at rock bottom sleeping in my car and that there was only one way forward, and that one way was up. I had been punched in the mouth and I had two options. I could lay down flat on my back or get the hell up and throw another punch. You have to find ways to turn your L's into lessons. What we forget is that in our rush to be famous in any profession, that we have to take each year as its own stepping stone. One bad year doesn't always lead to 2 bad years unless you sit on your butt and do nothing about your bad year. Your bad year is the time to recommit yourself to your craft. It's time to build relationships with people who you have known and people who you want to know. It's time to really think outside the box and finding new ways to make money and create new imagery. This is the brilliant part about being punched in the mouth, is that you have the opportunity to reset your eyes on a different goal. You have to become self-aware that maybe you aren't going to be world famous. Maybe you aren't going to be Washington, D.C. famous, but maybe you could conquer your neighborhood and maybe become neighborhood famous. Maybe instead of becoming Atlanta famous, you work on becoming College Park famous. I know of so many people struggling to get started that they have sat and not made any decisions to get better at what they do. Instead, what they have done is they have sat around and let opportunity pass them over and over and over again. Because being indecisive is an easier L to take than actually failing at trying something new. Self-doubt breeds inactiveness, and inactiveness breeds what could have been and excuses. I want you to take the bad business year to work on self-awareness. And once you've deployed that self-awareness in the process, then you can figure out what's right for you. Take it day by day, week by week, month by month, and I want you to eat that elephant one bite at a time. Then I want you to get the hell off the mat, and I want you to Buster Douglas Mike Tyson. Oh, and if you want to learn more about the why and how I have found success, and also find ways to turn your L's into lessons, please come see me speak at the Midwest Gathering in November. I promise you it will be a good time with great friends. I also promise you that you will walk away invigorated and ready to take on your city with a fresh set of ideas on the business side of being creative. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next Thursday with another video. Please take care and God bless, and I hope you crush some images this weekend. I'm out.